Well, it's Friday Eve, which means we're one step closer to wrapping up this week. Good afternoon, and thank you for tuning in. I'm Jurnee Taylor. And we can't wrap up the week before we look at weather. Let's bring in meteorologist Nathan Scott, where we're dealing with some severe weather. Nathan, but maybe everyone won't see the severe weather possibly?
That's right, Jurnee. We've got a deck of clouds in place right now across a large part of central Arkansas. That's good news because the more cloud cover we see, the more stable the atmosphere will become. If we see sunshine out there, that adds fuel to the fire and will enhance the chance that we could see some spicy storms. Here's the latest from the Storm Prediction Center now. We do have a slight risk that has been issued for all of Arkansas, enhanced risk, extreme northeastern parts of the state. And this basically tells us we do have the potential that there's going to be a few storms that will try to pulse up and reach severe limits. As we take a look at your visible satellite, the temperatures are not too bad right now. They could be into the 80s if we had more sun like Fort Smith, but right now they're into the mid 70s for the most part. And those clouds are producing a little bit of light rain, maybe even into parts of central Arkansas where that green is showing up. But by far, the storms have really been situated right along the border of Louisiana and Arkansas. Here's what you can expect through the rest of the day. I think there's going to be more scattered showers and storms developing into southeast Arkansas, and then the front starts to move in here later this afternoon through this evening into tonight. And along that front, that's what we'll have to watch out for the potential of some spicy storms. More on that chance and what's behind this front coming up.
New details this afternoon. Damian Eccles of the West Memphis 3 says the additional DNA testing in their case can move forward. He shared the news on X this morning. For the last several years, Eccles has pushed for evidence in the case to be retested with new technology. A lower court denied the request in 2022, but this week the Arkansas Supreme Court reversed that ruling. Eccles hopes the new testing will clear his name along with Jason Baldwin and Jesse Miss Kelly. And just into the newsroom, Little Rock police are investigating a deadly hit and run at Park Plaza Mall from Friday afternoon. Police say they found 79-year-old Gail Sipes unresponsive just outside the Dillard's entrance. She later died from her injuries. No word on any suspect or the car they were driving, but you can stay with THB 11 for the very latest. Making noise on Capitol Hill, an attempt to impeach the Secretary of Homeland Security, reaching a dead end thanks to Senate Democrats. Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas is just the second U.S. cabinet member in history to face impeachment after being accused by House Republicans of failing to enforce immigration laws and more accusations of breaching public trust. Those weeks-long efforts to remove him from office failed after a 3-hour-long Senate hearing.
This whole impeachment was nothing more than a political show.
That was Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, who argued that Mayorkas' impeachment could set a dangerous precedent. On the other side, Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson says he was disappointed in the Senate's decision. The U.S. House of Representatives could soon vote on a bill aimed at providing more aid to allies overseas. Natalie Brand shares those details.
To order. House lawmakers are meeting Thursday to discuss a long-awaited aid package to provide U.S. allies with critically needed funds. The plan includes 3 separate bills with more than $60 billion in security assistance for Ukraine and $26 billion for Israel. Another $8 billion is pegged for the Indo-Pacific with the goal of countering China.
It is urgent that all of the friends and supporters of Ukraine maximize their efforts.
Speaking with foreign ministers at the G7, Secretary of State Antony Blinken and his Ukrainian counterpart urged the House to act.
Support the supplemental that will literally, without exaggeration, help save Ukrainians from Russian missile slaughter.
House Speaker Mike Johnson is in the difficult position of trying to sell the package to House conservatives.
I'm doing here what I believe to be the right thing. I think providing lethal aid to Ukraine right now is critically important.
Georgia Congresswoman Jurnee Taylor has already threatened to trigger a vote to oust Johnson over the Ukraine aid. On the other side of the aisle, Democrats are criticizing the speaker for inaction.
We knew this moment was coming. He knew this moment was coming. You know, it's never too late to do the wrong thing, but it cost lives, the fact that he's waited so long.
President Biden has indicated support for the package. Speaker Johnson hopes by putting separate bills on the floor, it will increase the chance of passage. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
Well, Boeing continues to find themselves in the hot seat, this time dealing with more concerns sparked by serious allegations from a Boeing whistleblower. The company's quality engineer was heard testifying against safety standards of Boeing's airplanes and says he actually saw people jumping on pieces of the plane to get them aligned during production. Despite Boeing denying those claims, he is calling for action to be taken.
Since 2013, there have been serious issues on the 787 program, not properly closing thousands of gaps in its assembly of the fuselage.
The FAA is requiring Boeing to develop a plan aimed toward addressing concerns of quality control. That report is due later this spring. It's been nearly a month since the shooting incident between ATF agents and former Clinton Airport Director Brian Malin-Kowski, and lawmakers are still fighting for answers. Let's take a second to get you caught up. ATF agents initiated a search into Malin-Kowski's home back in March, hoping to find dozens of guns he allegedly purchased. That's when things took a turn. According to investigators, Malin-Kowski fired at agents who then fired back, sending him to the hospital where he later died. Since that incident, there has been very little information released by the agency that executed the raid. Now, some lawmakers are pushing for answers by holding a press conference at the state capitol today, where they aim to find out more on what happened. And Keyshawn Smith murder trial wrapped up day 3 with new evidence being submitted to the jury. Smith is accused of killing Pine Bluff Police Detective Kevin Collins nearly 4 years ago. During yesterday's hearing, prosecutors submitted surveillance video showing how the entire altercation played out. Today marks day 4 of those hearings. We'll have more for you tonight at 5 and 6. 2 bills are making their way through state Congress that could restrict the crypto mining industry. Lawmakers will decide on what to do after receiving multiple complaints of noisy crypto facilities. There's a chance they reconsider bills that were passed last year, which allow for the industry's expansion.
I want it to be specific, narrow. I want us to handle the 2 biggest concerns, which are noise and foreign ownership.
We've got to do something to give those folks some relief.
Those 2 bills will now head to different committees for debate. We're expecting to see a bit of expansion for one nonprofit today in Little Rock, something that's been in the making for a year. The group Our House will unveil its newly expanded facilities after a $16 million grant enabled them to make new upgrades. Thanks to those renovations, the housing capacity has doubled from previous years and will be able to serve more children and provide new space for mental and physical health services. Also happening as we speak, cleanup efforts are underway for Lake Conway. The Arkansas Game and Fish Commission is holding their first of 4 community cleanup events, which is their next step for an even bigger renovation project. If you're in the area and want to get involved, you can do so up until 8 o'clock tonight. Experts are coming up with new ways to get a grip on climate, how 3D printing could help save the environment when we return.
And they have super soaking rains right now in extreme southeastern parts of Arkansas, Ashley County, Chico County, under a flash flood warning until 2 o'clock. The rest of us, we have to be on the lookout for the potential of some strong, possibly severe thunderstorms as we go to the rest of the day. More on timing and impacts next.